Welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I am participating in a new hop to me. This is, I believe, the third year that this hop has been going on. It is called Groundhog Day. Now it reminds me a little bit about that movie called Groundhog Day. I believe it's Bill Murray who plays the leading role in that movie, and he wakes up every morning and it's Groundhog Day again, and he can't seem to get out of it. It's a very fun movie, and if you have never seen it, you probably should look it up and watch it. It's got, like I said, I think Bill Murray and Andy McDowell in it. Cute movie. Old movie, of course. So our goal with this hop that is hosted by Miss Jackie, I will have her link and a link to a playlist and a link to some of the Instagram participants listed below in my description box. But the concept of this layout is the same sort of concept. What you do is you choose an older layout of yours, and then you scrap lift it every single year. Or you scrap lift the old one, and the next year, the layout I create today, I will scrap lift it, and so on. And so I have been scrapbooking for a very, very long time. I believe we're going on 24 years, maybe even 25. I'd have to go back and check, but it's been a very, very long time. I have a very large, to me, stash, and lots and lots of photos left to scrapbook. You would think with that amount of years I would be completely caught up. I am not, because life, and I've raised 5 children who I also homeschooled. So maybe now that all of my kids have grown up and I'm no longer homeschooling, maybe I'll be caught up one day. So back to this. This is a layout I created at least 10 years ago. It might be 11 or 12. The date on it is spring 2005, but that is the date of these photos. I want to say I probably scrapbooked this layout in 2012 or 13. I'm roughly 8 years behind in my chronological albums. So I think it's really going to be fun to scrap lift myself in this video. It is really interesting how your style changes as you grow as a creator, and I am looking forward to recreating this layout with my current style and I would say more current product. I am using my Counterfeit kit for the month of February to create this layout, and I will have links to my blog as well as the Counterfeit Kit Challenge blog below so that you can view my full kit on my blog, and you can also check into Counterfeit Kit if you would like. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, and when I come back, I will have the video sped up and you can watch me recreate this layout with my newer photos and somewhat new product. I'll be right back. Okay, so because I hadn't actually pulled out what I was going to use beforehand, I spread it out here at the beginning of this section of the video so that you could see what I chose. This piece of pattern paper is very, very old, basic gray. It is from their Olivia collection. They had an Olivia and an Oliver collection, and it's from 2010. So old. This piece is from Felicity Jane, and I put it in for the striped side, of course, and the basic gray piece, of course, I used for that off-white grungy background. This piece is Heidi Swap. I don't remember the name of the collection off the top of my head, but I put it in there to round out the blues in my Counterfeit kit. And so I am cutting the paper down. I cut a 1/2 inch of the striped piece, and I think this blue piece is 5.5 by 12 currently. I will cut it down a little bit more than that. This piece is from the it's Harvest Homestead, I think is the name, or Harvest Farmstead or something like that, from American Crafts this fall. It was an under-advertised collection in my opinion. It is gorgeous, and I bought all of it from We Create when I was there in September. This piece is either Fancy Pants or Basic Gray. I will have to look and see how old it is, but it is seriously old. Again, it is a nice grungy piece, and this is the piece that I'm going to use to map my photos. Now you're going to see me make a humongous stinking mistake here when I trim my photos. I think it's this set right here. I get them on here and I accidentally cut crookedly and I leave very little mat on the left hand side. It ends up being okay because these strips are going to be met in the center. Not in the center, but I'm gonna put them, side by side, and you're not really gonna notice it. Here's where I goof, and again, it is fine. I could have rematted them, I just didn't. Again, these are photos taken in 2021, and this is one of my exceptions to my rules. I try to scrapbook in the year that I'm working on. I am currently 2 layouts from completing my 2015 album. Both of those layouts are prepped and ready to be scrapbooked. I just haven't gotten to them yet. I've picked product, the photos are ready to go, and I have already started prepping 2016 albums. And so what I do with my albums is I will purchase them, and then I will start building layouts inside the page protectors by putting the photos in there. I will decide how many photos of an event I'm going to print and how large these photos are going to be, and then I will slot them into page protectors in my album. And I usually pre-plan 2-page layouts versus 1 page, and once I'm finished, the album is full, and when I'm ready to scrapbook from that album, I can pull the photos, add product. I know whether it needs to be a 1-page or a 2-page. Do I deviate from the 1-page, 2-page? You bet. But for the most part, I try to stick to what I've planned in the album. And anyway, so that is just part of my album planning process. Now, when I am finished with this layout, it will end up in an iris box in my closet that is labeled with the year 2021. That way, when I finally buy albums for that year, I can dig them out and start slotting the layouts that are finished in the albums, and they will be ready for me to build in full. I have not completely built 2016 yet. I believe I need at least 2 more albums. So I have put the pattern papers onto my background in a similar fashion that they are on the original layout. Instead of using that cool trim that is on the left-hand side, I chose to use the striped pattern paper. And I think I overlapped the other 2 pieces of pattern paper a little bit more on this layout than I did on the original. I am pulling from this set of Heidi Swap embellishments. I've got a title piece there and some stars so far. And I'm pretty happy with the placement of my photos, and I've got a good start so I can start building some clusters. So I did a quick check, and that piece of paper that I matted my photos in is from Bo Bunny. It's one of their very old fall collections. At this point, I only had that 1 full sheet left plus some scraps, and no branding strips on them. But when I pulled out the scraps, I realized that it was Bo Bunny and not Fancy Pants or Basic Gray like I originally said. So my kit has some fall elements in it. That was kind of intentional. The kit that we are counterfeiting is fall themed, and it actually had the ephemera pack that I had pulled from for this layout in it. Like I said, I purchased that full collection because it was just so gorgeous, and I really felt like American Crafts didn't advertise it very well because it is a gorgeous fall collection, and I bought every single sheet of the paper times 2, I think, and both embellishment packs, stickers, letters, the whole thing. Anyway, so now I'm just layering up my ephemera. I am including a lot of little mushrooms and leafy bits on here. And the reason I'm including the mushrooms on here is because during this hike, I saw quite a few mushrooms, and of course, there are no photos of the mushrooms on this layout. I don't think I've even printed the mushroom photos yet, but I included them on here just as a different visual element. You might wonder why I'm using a fall collection for these photos, and the reason for that is this hike was took place at the end of September in 2021, and while I'm wearing a tank top and shorts, my husband, of course, as you see, is in long sleeves, and I think my son might also be in long sleeves. I'm very hot-natured, and I ditched my jacket at that point. I had a hoodie on over, and I got hot hiking, so it is fall-ish in New York when I took these photos, so I felt comfortable using a fall collection for it and fall colors. And besides, with the beautiful blues and greens in my photos, the orange and the mustard color really brings out those colors. I am digging through these embellishments, really trying to decide how to build my clusters. Nothing is glued down at this point except the papers, and of course the chipboard has adhesive on the back. And now I've removed the stars that I put up there in that top corner, and I'm trying to decide on how to build a better cluster up there, and I do that with these little orange flowers and that gold embossed leafy bit up there at the top, and then I just stick that navy blue star back on there. All right, I have my layout completely done. I went off camera and I did some hand stitching down my left side. I had changed out the bit of trim that was on my original layout for the striped pattern paper, and then I added the stitching because that's kind of one of my signature things these days. I stitched back when I created the original layout. I probably should have pulled a layout that I'd stitched on. I didn't, and but I did stitch this single navy blue line on here. Just to kind of bring more of that blue into the layout. And then I added some burlap twine to my clusters, like to my tags for my journaling. Originally, I had a bow here, and I didn't like it. It took up too much space. This twine is very, very thick, and it's harder to get a smaller bow, and so I just pulled it off that and stuck it over here. And that, of course, draws your eyes that direction. I did use some foam adhesive in places like underneath the top edge of this one, and here, and here. I put foam adhesive there. And of course, I had to go back and glue down all of the chipboard. We know as scrapbookers that our chipboard loses its adhesive over time. I have gone to many albums to flip through them and have discovered chipboard letters and elements floating at the bottom of my page protectors. Kind of aggravates me, but now that I know that, I tend to go in and re-glue everything with a liquid glue. I typically grab tacky glue. I also have some Nuvo glue and Barely Art glue sitting on the other side of my desk as well, if I choose to use either of those. I want to thank you so much for coming to my channel today. I really hope you enjoyed watching this process of me scrap lifting myself. I will admit it was kind of strange doing that, especially since I chose such an old layout of mine in a style that I don't really do any longer. So it was fun to kind of make this project, my current style, but still give a huge nod to the original layout, which is right here. Here they are side by side. Let me zoom out so that you can see both. And of course, there are photos of both layouts in this video already, but I hope you can see that I took inspiration from the original layout, but I still made it my own for my current scrappy style. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any comments or questions about my layout or any technique that you saw me use, just drop them below. I will be happy to answer your questions. You guys have a great Friday and wonderful weekend. Bye.